Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. Yes, it's your sidekick favourite once again, back with a fleet update video. And what a lot of fun this is going to be. Right, where are we at? Okay, the Black Ambassador. That's next year's product thing. We know that. Right, Mrs. Winn. I've done absolutely nothing because I haven't had time and I haven't had the weather to do anything, which is a bit disappointing. But the weather's holding up for me today at the moment, so later on today I think I'm going to do a little bit more work on the wheel arch and this sill just to get this near finished off. There's not that much to do, and as you can see, she's now facing this way instead of that way, so she has been moved. She runs, and she always runs sweet anyway. It was just so I could get some room actually to do this side, because it was getting a little bit squashy up that up against the fence there, so needed a bit of room. Now, I did actually start a video on it a couple of weeks ago when I swapped the car around, but it had to come to an abrupt end, because when I got the car out, the wife come out and says, "Look at all the rubbish there under that car, let's get it cleaned up." So I couldn't do any work, as I really wanted to get it turned round, and it ended up we must have spent about 2 hours cleaning up all the rubbish that I left. Sorry. And also the leaves from the trees, which have been falling all summer weirdly. So everything had gathered up around there, so it was the case of, oh well. So I managed to get the car back round and turned round, and I thought, right, let's do some work. And then the heavens opened and it just lashed it down for the rest of the afternoon, so that was about as much as I got done. So yeah, I'm no further forward with that, unfortunately, but there is work still to do, which we will jog on with, hopefully today, fingers crossed. Obviously, once I've finished my coffee and this video. Anyway, right, on to the next. The mighty, the wonderful, the one and only Mighty White Ambassador. What can I say about that car? That has just been absolutely brilliant. Basically because the Jag is poorly again. So the Ambassador has had to do the duty of towing the wobble box. It's now done it twice so far. We did actually go to a traction engine club over in Draycott for the weekend. I had a weekend display there with everything in Steam. And while I did start a video, I didn't finish it off because everything just got a little bit hectic and we were drunk basically. And that's what we spent most of the weekend doing. We parked the car up, left it there on display, and we just sat around the caravan getting pissed, as you do. So there are some pictures. I will probably tag them onto this video if Ricky will do it for me, along with the start of the video to that never got finished off, so I do apologise for that one, Ricky. Well, you know, at the time you were off swanning about in your camper van, hooking up with the other show favourite. I reckon there's something going on there. Anyway, nice to have Sarah on board. Brilliant, fantastic. So anyway, the Mighty White, she's now turned into an everyday car at the minute, lugging my bass guitars and amp around, you know, for band rehearsals and that kind of thing, because that's really took off now. We've got a couple of gigs in for this year. I've got some stand-ins I've got to do on bass for a couple of other bands. One that's come back to me last night and asked me to step in December, so I've got 2 gigs to do with them, which was a band I was in. I actually was one of the founding members of it, and I think I rehearsed twice with them and thought, it's a bit far for me to travel and a bit too hectic at the time, because I got the you know, my neighbour was suffering with the cancer thing, so it was all a little bit too hectic and I couldn't really commit. So, but we've remained friends. They've now you know, suddenly lost their bass player. He suddenly upped and left, and their standing can't commit. So they've asked me if I would, you know, do it. My band hasn't got any gigs for December anyway, which was good, which is what we wanted, and we'll crack on again next year. So I've been asked to stand in on a couple of gigs for them. So the ambassador has got the role of taking me to rehearsals, towing the wobble box. The wife has gone out shopping in the Kia Ceed, which is also just brilliant. That car's just probably one of the best cars we've ever had on the fleet. So other than that, the ambassador now takes the role of what the Jag was doing. So the ambassador, brilliant, as I always thought it were, as I always knew it were. And so although I wanted to take that off the road by now, that's not going to happen. That's going to happen next year as per the plan, sort of. But I did want to try and get a little bit ahead on that car, but I can't do it at the moment. So ambassador, brilliant, can't fault that car at all. It's just brilliant. Right, next, the Jag. So this steaming pile of shite Mondeo in a dress is basically nothing but a disappointment. It really is. I've come to the conclusion that I just hate the car now. So, you know, the spark plugs that we did earlier on in the year with the inlet seals and all the other seals did cure this misfire that we got, and it's come back. And I don't know why. So I've had to go through all the wiring loom, you know, and the wiring loom is all buzzed out okay. I've got the same fault codes as I had before, so I was kind of going down the route that it may have been an ECU fault. So I've had that removed, I took it off, contacted 3 specialists. 2 of them says they couldn't test it, and the other one says, yeah, bring it up, send it up, whatever, we'll sort that out for you. The next day they contacted me to say, we can't test that. So I don't know why they wouldn't give a reason why. It may be a Jaguar stroke Ford thing, I don't know. So there's a couple of routes I can go down. I can maybe get hold of another used ECU and dashboard, because they have to come together along with the transponder for the key and all that. And I'll be putting on second-hand parts with a different mileage on it, which I don't really want to do at this stage anyway, at least. So I'm a bit bit bewildered by this car at the minute. So there's that fault that's going on. Hang on, let me just move things around, because I still ain't got a gimbal. Ricky, thanks. Oh, you know, screen holder or anything like that. No, he didn't bought me nothing. He's too busy swanning off with a certain Mrs. Crabtree. Well, Mrs. Lovely girl. Right. So the Jag. So the misfire's back. Gone through the wiring loom. That seems to be okay. Done all the earths, all that, all the stuff that comes up on Facebook. Say, have you done this? Have you done that? Yes, I have. Right. So that's still, so the car's back together, because I need it moved. I need to move it, kind of need to use it sometimes. Done the Christmas shopping in it yesterday, and it didn't misfire. So I've got my code reader in the car, so when it does, I'm going to plug it straight in the minute it does it, basically, and I don't care where I am, because I need to know what the cause of this problem is. Now, I've since swapped all the coil packs around, because it misfired a couple of weeks ago, the last time I did use it, and it was only to nip round the corner, and it come up with coil pack F was the first fault code, and it misfired slightly, so I switched it off, plugged in the code reader, it only come up with coil pack F. Now, I'm not sure how the system works, if it's anything like the forklifts that I work on, which are now have all got the same thing. You plug a laptop into them and it will give you a list of fault codes if there's a fault, but it will also give you the system will work where it'll give you a lot more other fault codes because it has done this as a result of that. So I'm kind of thinking that the car's doing the same, that one is doing the same thing. The system works in a similar way, I think, where, so if it's coil pack F that's playing up, obviously I've not been in a position where I can stop the car immediately and or slow it down, whatever. So you then get a build-up of excessive gases into the cat. The cat will sensors there, the O2 sensors will read that there's too much fuel going in or unburnt fuel, so it shuts down the injectors, and it may be shutting down the rest of the coil packs on that one bank. I don't know if that's how the system works. There's not that much information on it. It might be how it works, I don't know. So I've swapped the coil packs around, I've marked them up, swapped them around, so when it does it again, if the first fault there ends up being coil pack B, then I know that I've got a faulty coil pack and maybe I can sort it. But like I said, this is an intermittent fault. Now, like I said, I'd done the Christmas shopping, we went out into town, I thought, let's take the Jag. Basically doesn't get more in it, and it didn't falter, so all good there for the time being. So I'm going to start using it this week for band rehearsals and chucking me stuff around and whatnot, and I'll just see how it goes, because I know the car will get me there on 3 cylinders. So, and there is another fault with it. Hang on. As you can see there, the back window is slightly open, which is because I can now move it with my hand. Dear. So, while we had just done our Christmas shopping yesterday, which was on the Saturday afternoon, I opened my window, the driver's side window, and realised that I hadn't reset them. Because I'd had the battery off, and you obviously need to set up the reprogram the windows so that they open and close, you know, with the full thing. They go up on their own when you press the key and all that, and if you haven't set them, they don't work. And also, I don't think the back off system works either if you don't reprogram them. So you have to teach the windows where they are on all 4. So I went round driver's side, passenger side back one, and come to this one here. And while it was near the top, it didn't quite get there. It went with a bit of a bang, and I thought, that weren't good. Anyway, I managed to get the window most of the way up, and it wouldn't go any further. So looking on in the Haynes manual what good they are, it is a cable operated thing, like a push-pull cable. So I've got a feeling that that's snapped. I mean, okay, fair enough. The car's now 18 years old, so it's at that age now where it's going to need some money spent on it. The thing is, I don't want to. But I have gone on eBay, ordered a repair kit for it, because I basically need it working for when I bugger this car off. It's just nothing but a huge disappointment, really. You know, you think you're buying a premium brand car, and it really is just a Mondeo in a dress. The only thing is, parts are just expensive for it, and nobody wants to touch it because it's a Jag, and everybody, you know, you take it to these garages and they just say, oh, no, it needs to go to a specialist, and I'm not paying them kind of prices on an 18-year-old car. I'm just not doing it. So I'm more than likely just going to get this car MOT'd in December, if it'll go through. I'm sure it will, it usually does, but I'm just going to get it MOT'd, take it round to WeBuyAnyCar.com and get rid. I could sell it private, but I know there is a fault on this car, and I haven't got the heart to do that to an unsuspected buyer. I would rather just offload the car to WeBuyAnyCar.com, somebody like that. Let them deal with it. You know, it's their problem. So I wouldn't sell it to anybody on the channel. If you're interested, I want $1,000 for it, because that's what they're offering. But seriously, I wouldn't sell it to a friend or anybody off the channel because I'm just not that callous. But I am callous enough to offload it to a dealer. Call that what you will, call me what you will. But yeah, I'm done with this car. Not all it's cracked up to be, if I'm honest. Alright, it's a lovely drive, and it does, when it works, pull the caravan really well, and it's helped a few people out with its four-wheel drive, getting people, you know, stuck with caravans. I even towed a car and a caravan still hitched up together out of a ditch, so it's brilliant for that. But I need a reliable car for an everyday car, and this just isn't it. And it's also greedy to run. It's expensive to run anyway because of the price of fuel now, and it's also expensive just to keep, basically, you know, with tax, insurance and all that. You know, the road tax on this car is nearly 500 quid a year, so it's costing me money anyway just sat on the drive. Yes, I could sawn it. What's the point? Because when I sawn a car, it's usually for about 5 years, and then by the time I get round to actually putting this car back on the road again, it's going to be knackered anyway. It's going to be rotten as a pear. So I think it's time that it actually went. Yeah, I'm done. Patience has ran out, basically. But I am going to repair this window, so there will be a video on that, because I think the X-type videos on the channel do go quite well. And I think it's just because the car is very common and people do a search for X-type problems all the time, I think. So they do the channel well. So even if I keep it just for the sake of the channel, just to get the video numbers up, you know, the viewer numbers up, great, fine. But as an everyday car, nah, no more. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, a 40-year-old Ambassador is more reliable than an 18-year-old Jag. Go figure. And it's more cheap to run. Again, go figure. But that's where we're at, and this is I think this is just how modern technology has gone. It's great when it works, but when it goes wrong, it's expensive. And I think that's how car manufacturers want you to believe now, that when they're too expensive to fix, you just throw them away and you buy a new one. Well, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to buy a new car. I'm just going to buy another. I'll probably just do what Ricky does, is buy a £500,000 runabout that's going to do the job of transporting, you know, the dogs and me band gear, like this car is supposed to do, and do the job of towing the wobble box, so that the poor mighty white can get a bit of a break. Poor thing. But what a car. Absolutely brilliant. But this one, nah, I'm done. Patience has gone. And the thing is as well, with the misfire, I've still got to sort that out. I've still got to find that. And I really want to be concentrating on getting Mrs. Winn sorted out, so that I've got 2 good cars on the fleet that actually work properly, rather than 1.5 as it is. So that's all from me for this waffle update, whatever you want to call it. So the weather's looking good, so I'm going to go and get changed into my scruffs, and hopefully there will be a video later on where I'm getting a little bit more work done on Mrs. Winn. So that's it for now. So just want to, you know, say to Ricky, you know, I'm still here, buddy. Sarah, nice to have you on board as such. I'm sure we'll get to meet up at some point, just that we are a lot of miles away. And it really, you know, the numbers regarding the viewers and subscribers have picked up since you've had your videos on board with us. So, you know, a heartfelt thank you on behalf of Ricky and myself. I don't know why I'm saying thanks. It's not even my channel. I'm just a guest. Right then. So, guys, folks, thank you all for watching this one. I'm going to get changed, do some stuff, and I'll see you in a future video soon. Right, take care everybody, and have fun. See you later. Bye bye. Need any help there, Bab?
No, go away. Let me do it, please. I do a better job at tidying up.
Oh, there's a car there that needs tidying up, and do you want to have a go?
No, you're all right. Gardening's my thing, love.
Okay. And this is what happens when the wife gets involved when I move cars around. So I consider myself told off, because as you can see, the area now is looking very clean. Okay, I've got to go and help. This ain't going to plan. Well, as you can see there, the ambassador's back in its position, and Mrs. Winn is now facing the other way. Now we can get a good look if I don't kill myself by tripping up over stuff. Yeah, we can see there that wheel arch. I've got no further forward because the rain's just not been nice to me today. Just want to point out, this is a typical trait of Leyland cars, and I've noticed this when they've been parked up for a while. As you can see there, I have pumped my suspension up. Can't see any drips anyway. It may have just settled, I don't know. You'll notice that the Princess lies very nose down, and there is a large gap in that wheel arch there between the wheel. It seems to be sitting like a drag car at the minute. This is a typical trait. Whenever I've laid the ambassador up for a while, that one always seems to do the same. The back end seems to rise up and the front end goes down. And the only thing I can think of there is basically the weight of the engine. It pushes all the fluid backwards when they've been stood. Now, Mrs. Winn never used to sit that high at the back at all, and she has got some weight in the boot, albeit a few parts, nothing much, bit of rubbish in there that's been in there for a few years, which I need to address, obviously. But you can see the difference there. The ambassador's sitting quite low on the back, and the Princess is sitting really high. I think this is just a trait that they all have, and as you can see now, I don't know if you can pick it up on video, but now it's slashing down again. So for today, I think this is just a failed attempt, but I've cleaned up all round here and I'm getting soaked. So I've cleaned up all round here. Mrs. Winn and the ambassador are going to have to get wet before they get the dried off and get the covers put back on, but that's it for me for this bit, or part of the video should I say. I'm going in, I've had enough. Right, laters. Hi guys, and welcome. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, what am I doing today? Mrs. Winn, let's get some more work done on the old gal. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. And I only say hi guys because I know it winds Ricky up. Now then, how are we doing? Right then, where are we? My back garden apparently. Right then, let's hi guys, and welcome. Oh, bollocks. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. And I only say hi guys because I know it winds Ricky up. Right then, some work on Mrs. Winn today. Weather's holding up okay-ish, getting a bit cloudy, but we'll see how we get on this time round. Right, so I want to finish the sill and do a little bit more work on the wheel arch. So let's go and have a look, see what I'm going to do, if we can get it right.